Good evening, and welcome to TrueHouse episode 472 with me, Justin House. Yes, it's been a while. Gonna get Instagram going as well. Stand by. I think that's okay. All right, I think we're going. I have to squint to see it. Yes, I need to get my eyes tested. Okay, welcome to TrueHouse 472 with me, Justin House. It's been a while. I have been a little bit sporadic recently with these live streams, but I will go on, as the Celine Dion song said, wasn't it? My heart will go on. Yeah, all right. Okay, so look, I do enjoy live streaming, okay? And it's not, as I've said numerous times before, this is me doing this for cathartic reasons, okay? I've said this till I'm blue in the face. It is an infinitesimally small audience at about 3,500 subs on the tube. But I just, I'm at the point now where I feel, yeah, it is, and I've hammered the word cathartic, but I am doing this now for me because it's, it is what it is. But anyway, look, I'm going to steam into 472, all right? I'm going to talk about the metaverse, okay? I'm going to talk about Black Mirror tonight, IRL, in real life. I'm a fan of Charlie Brooker's, good evening, I'm a fan of Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, okay? For those of you that aren't aware, Charlie Brooker is a very good British writer. And Black Mirror, there are, gosh, how many seasons of Black Mirror? 5 or 6? Anyway, it's on Netflix. But if you've not seen an episode of Black Mirror, I strongly recommend you see it. It's very, very good, because it takes propositions, so it deals with a lot of stuff from perhaps an alternate world. You could argue that some Black Mirror episodes are quite, Twilight Zone, like. Also, you could say that Black Mirror is a very accurate, honest, satirical, cynical view, purview of what we are now in terms of, reductively, what are we, how are we degrading? Because we are. And yes, I could come up with a myriad of sort of cliched sayings like, yes, we're going straight off the proverbial cliff, and societally, we're just like, blop blop blop, like little lemmings off the cliff. But we kind of are. Look, if you can't tell by looking at me, I mean, I'm 50. I know I look probably 10 years older, but I'm 50, so I'm a Gen Xer. Now, being a Gen Xer, I saw in '84 the closest we got to hot war. So we had here, obviously Thatcher was our prime minister, Americans had Reagan, and the Ruskies had Gorbachev, replete with splat of ink on their head, birthmarks. So that was the power triangle. You had Gorbachev, you had Reagan in America, and at the time, Reagan, trust me, just bear with me, guys. At the time, Reagan was taking a freaking hammering because, obviously it was more akin to a Bush. It was quite sort of right wing, or just let's just say conservative, okay? And there were lots of things like, Reagan's absent-minded, he's cognitively impaired, sound familiar? And now we're seeing, puppet master Biden, an actual marionette, really like a literal marionette, suspended in the silly simulacrum that is the White House. And now, of course, you've got Press Secretary, Jen Psaki quitting, and rightly so. She's going to MSNBC. The whole thing is akin to an episode of Black Mirror. Now, one of my most favourite episodes of Black Mirror is San Junipero. Being a Gen Xer, like I said, I grew up, I was born in 72 and I grew up in the 80s. So a lot of popular culture, a lot of the music. I can get my bottle of water and my coffee. Excuse the sniffles. I always get sniffly. It's just the massive lines of Al Pacino, Scarface, cocaine I've got in the kitchen. Of course not. So anyway, I digress. The situation is, you look at an episode like San Junipero, and San Junipero is really a sort of dreamscape look at what would be downloadable. It's a little bit Johnny Deppish, transcended. It's transcension. This kind of Ray Kurzweil-esque. What do we do? Do we transcend? Can we take our consciousness? Can we take? Have we got a soul? Can our bodies essentially decay and die, which they invariably will do? Yet, would our consciousness be downloadable or uploadable? Whatever. And that's the basic premise of this particular episode of Black Mirror, called San Junipero. And San Junipero is very much set in the 80s. It comes in with Belinda Carlisle playing Heaven is a Place on Earth. As a teenager, I was completely in love with Belinda Carlisle. I still am a little bit. I was convinced I was going to be, just like audition to play a guitar in her, even though I've never played the guitar, in her band, and somehow, sort of fettle my way into getting in the band so I could actually be in love with Belinda Carlisle. That's how deluded I was at 15 in 1987. So we're looking at San Junipero, and I'm comparing San Junipero in my head to what's going on now. So look, a lot of people far more qualified than me have commented. I'm talking authors and far more experienced political and social commentators have said that civilizations, like the Roman Empire and stuff, and going back to the Greeks, in their episode of decline, when they were literally approaching this point of no return, things happen where reality is in a state of, people are often in a state of denial about reality. So, invariably there's blurring, things become very nebulous. And this is what we're seeing now, aren't we? Because, whether we're looking at Apple's pregnant man emojis, Oxford and Cambridge universities here in the UK having tampons in the male toilets, Leah Thomas, cock and balls out in the changing room. Again, all these things I feel pretty strongly about. I don't want to go too hard tonight on the trans thing, because I can fill a stream with that quite happily, and I will, because I've got a strong argument about natally born biological AMABs and AFABs, assigned male at birth, assigned female at birth, etc. But the reference to Black Mirror and the metaverse, I'm going to try and tie all three together. Zuckerberg's proposed metaverse, Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, San Junipero episode from Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, and this shift towards a sense of unrealism, a sense of things are becoming unthreaded. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I certainly do, and I don't think I'm being overly, like, oh, there's nothing wrong with critical thinking, is there? I mean, but it's now, you'd have to be pretty oblivious. In fact, I, in my humble opine, I think you'd have to be willingly ignorant nowadays. There's nothing stopping any one of us to not look at the news, to not, look at any data or information or evidence, anything related to any of it, whether it's the war in Ukraine. I mean, I said it numerous times before after COVID, the Gen Pop, the mass formation of psychosis, the public Gen Pop brain chip change from COVID narrative to Ukraine, Putin bad, save Ukrainians, and everyone let's display your blue and yellow Ukrainian flag on your social media. Otherwise, the mainstream smeardia will come for you, because it's good to flex and it's good to score the obligatory social brownie points by displaying your virtue. And aren't we all just paragons of virtue? Because we're so freaking purity tested. So this is the drivel that I'm seeing, and again, so much of it is performative. So much of it, I mean, a constant theme I have on this live stream is my disdain, my disgust with purely vapid, performative displays. You know, I'd far rather people present themselves in this online world and just be a bit more honest about what they are, about who they are. You know, I'd far rather we just say, look, this is what I feel, and stop trying to score points for being a nice person. Stop trying to be, again, there's so much social brownie point collecting. Again, these literal signals of virtue. Meanwhile, we're blissfully rolling along, becoming unconnected or disconnected, or just literally, like I say, living in an episode of Black Mirror. And the one that springs to mind, probably because I'm a bit of a Gen Xer, but all the soundtrack, or just the way it was done, the way it was shot. It's got that 80s feel to it. And I strongly recommend you watch it. If there is an episode of Black Mirror to pick up on, if you've not watched Black Mirror before, and you just fancy a good episode to steam in as a complete, Black Mirror virgin, pick San, S-A-N, Junipero, Junipero. It's a fictional place. I think they shot it on location in Australia, I think, on the beaches there. Some pretty spectacular beaches in Oz. So, look, I'm, for all my faults, for all my weirdness, for all my geeky, idiosyncrasies, I'm seeing a blurring of social lines, things becoming intentionally nebulous. Like I say, this non-distinction between man, woman, boy, girl, male, female. What is a man, an adult human male? What is a woe man, adult human female? This denial of XXY, XX or XY chromosomes, the fact that you can't, as a man, try as you might, create, a uterus and womb and fallopian tubes and ovaries, and just, even if you have, surgery, bottom surgery as they call it, you can't do it. So, I think we're seeing a lot of inversion, like the popular Netflix show Stranger Things. The upside down, this literal inversion of reality. We are so there. It is a silly simulacrum. Whether it's a White House press conference, whether it's looking at, come on, look at Biden. I mean, figuratively speaking, as a figurehead, this is the man, apparently in the greatest position of power in the free world, allegedly. But he is so cognitively impaired. He's now saying things like, come on, man. I mean, it's crazy. And I always use the same damn argument on my live stream. This is akin to me really arguing with someone that I'm not wearing a green army shirt. Yes, it's a green bloody army shirt, but unless you're willingly ignorant and or colorblind, this would be akin to me insisting that I'm wearing a pink shirt, and insisting that if someone said, oh, Justin, you're wearing a green army shirt, and I'd say, no, it's a pink shirt with blue polka dots. What's wrong with you? Can't you see? Don't believe your lying eyes. Don't believe your lying ears. And this is where we're at. Again, I'm not going to make any apologies for thematically rinse and repeating this talking point, or these talking points. Like, I feel, it's got to be spoken about. We've got, and not just politely having a conversation, but really doing something about it, really saying, you know what, this is not normal. This is such a perversion and inversion and upside down. It's just so bloody wrong. It's evil. It's dangerous. Look, I'm into I'm into these things. There you go, S22 Ultra, right? I like all this stuff, but I don't live on them. I mean, I'm really into them, like the geek I am, but I also see the danger, and I know that's a common position to take, but look, to pop, let me just add on. I'm going to dogpile my own point here. Zuckerberg's metaverse, this new Facebook thing, and I'm not into Facebook at all, but as I understand it, whether it's your avatar, or your trans self, if I want to be Justine, I damn well can, and I can insist on you calling me Justine, and no, I'm no longer Justin the man, I'm Justine the woman. Um, you know, it's really dangerous. I'll tell you why it's so dangerous is because people are living a sense of unreality. One of the things Zuckerberg was explaining in his interview with Lex Fridman, I'm a big Lex Fridman fan. If you watch the Lex Fridman podcast, he's very good. Um, Zuckerberg was expressing how people will essentially be able to, phone it in over the course of a meeting. Perhaps, this is true LARPing, guys, live action role playing. It really is. It's perfect left dialogue, ideology, whereby you can basically put an appearance in. You imagine a conference call, imagine a group. Yeah, you know how it is. Whether you're doing, Zoom, Skype, Duo, whatever you're doing, right? And then I appear as a literal gorilla. Here comes Justin in the gorilla suit, full of the muscles that I used to be, blah, 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 blah. But I actually believe that shit, and that would be my avatar, and I would present myself, so I would be identifying as. And this is the proposal that Mark Zuckerberg said when asked and pushed by Lex Fridman about how the metaverse would present itself and the position it would take in society. So you could actually, and this is going somewhere, guys, and this is why I've mentioned Black Mirror, the degrading and the dissolving of society, the absurdity of society, perversity, and the metaverse. I'm trying to tie in 3-4 threads here. So that being said, if you've got adults, let me look at them. I'm a 50-year-old bloke. What if I said, the fact that I probably would get away with it if I said, actually, I'm now Justina and I'm a 10-year-old boy. I'm back to the old Justin Star Wars, playing with, my Star Wars toys. I should really be called out on that. I should really be, I would expect someone to say, yeah, I like you, mate, but that's a little bit creepy, dude. You're a 50-year-old bloke and you're pretending to be 10, and you're coming online now in this sort of avatar of yourself, this this, do you know what I mean? I would expect to be called on that. I would expect to be called a bit of a wrong'un. I don't know, it's a little bit noncy, isn't it? It's a little bit, yeah, I don't know, I feel uncomfortable with it. So the sad thing is people are getting away with this, and something that Mark Zuckerberg himself said, that's cool, that's okay. People could literally come as a jellyfish, they could come as, it's fucked up. It's really not right. It's not normal. Can you imagine trying to be taken seriously as a solicitor, a lawyer, whatever? Whatever your profession is, if you're a car mechanic, or you work for whatever, British Gas, or you're a live streamer, or you're a lap dancer, whatever you do, if all of a sudden it becomes widely accepted, acknowledged, normalized, that's the danger, guys, is to make radical behavior, quite obscene behavior, normal. This is what I'm. And look, I'm a bit of a, I'm not being funny. I'm not trying to toot my own horn a little bit, but anyone that knows me a little bit will say, yeah, I'm kind of, I'm not one of these. I'm not like, I'm just. I've always been a little bit way, a little bit woe. I don't mean that in like, oh yeah, like tough guy. I don't mean like that. I mean just a bit, a bit cavalier, and I've never, I've never subscribed to conventional living. I've always lived a bit of an unorthodox, whatever. So I don't know whatever you want to call that, a libertarian, or sort of sensation seeker, whatever. But I find it bloody weird. It wouldn't be so bad if it was 10 to 15-year-olds all in the metaverse going, yeah, I'm Zebedee, I don't know, Winnie the Pooh, whatever, Scooby Doo, yeah, whatever, Mowgli, whatever floats your bloody boat. But when it's adult humans going, oh yeah, I'm going to attend my important meeting with the powers that be, and I'm going to present as a, cocktail waitress, right? It's it's disturbing at the very least. And what I don't like about all this, there's a tinge, there's a slant, there's a distinct flavour to all this. And, caveat, I don't want people to get freaked out, but I smell a pedo thing. I'm sorry, not sorry, actually. I smell a sick rat here. I smell on the horizon a movement for acceptance. And little caveat here, I am in no way, shape, or form anti-gay. I've had clients and friends, dozens over the years, that are gay. I've mentioned it numerous times on this live stream. I've had too many to mention. Insanely good, wonderful, fantastic, beautiful, even glorious nights out. And I've been in the company of gay men, whether they be friends, acquaintances, work colleagues, clients, or whatever, flatmates. I've had some incredibly good nights with gay people, okay, whether they be gay women or gay man, whatever. So I've got no issue with that. I have an issue, no pun intended, of people ramming it down someone else's throat. And nowadays, I was talking to a friend the other day about this. Certainly commercially, certainly in the world of TV, video, acting, modelling, putting yourself out there as this is who I am. It is advantageous to be hi. If I went out there really children's TV presenter energy, jazz hands, and just went super camp. And again, this is something I've done before on this live stream, when I do like, hi, I'm Justin, just speaking normally to, hi, I'm Justine, develop the obligatory lisp and go an octave or two higher and camp it up, right? Now, I know that's a bit of again, it's a stereotypical, oh yeah, do a gay man, develop a lisp and speak higher. But that's what people are doing. They're gayifying themselves, or they're transing it up, or they're literally dyeing their hair blue and saying, I'm non-binary, I identify as. This is why I like people like Blair White. I mean, I find her, quite frankly, really fanciful. We'll talk about her past. And again, for those that don't know, passing means you pass as the socially, visually, the gender you want to be. So if you are a natally, biologically AMAB, assigned male at birth, a cisgendered, bloke like me, let's face it, with my facial structure, with my deep set eyes and the way I look, there's no amount of makeup and or plastic surgery that would have me passing. I'm just too, I don't know, whether it's my bone structure, whatever. I'm 6'5" as well. Dirty great hands and stuff. And anyway, my point being, it would be very unlikely that I would pass, and that's what it is when you pass as the gender you want to be. But if you look up Miss Blair White, Blaire White, White, look at Blair White. I mean, she's frankly a bit of a smoke show. She's really hot, but it's a guy. But it's a guy that's gone all the way, and this is what I respect. We're talking full-on surgery, tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, a real commitment, all the way, top, bottom, everything in between. I mean, she's done it, and I like Blair White a lot. I mean, there's him, her, whatever. She's great. She's cool. That to me is a trans woman. Remember, a trans woman is a biologically born man who identifies as a woman. A trans man is a biologically born female who identifies as a man. And just I mustn't do this because I will do a night on trans, I will. But again, I've said it repeatedly. I've rinsed this point, but I feel like I should say it. Why is the traffic one way and one way only? Why do you own? It's a very simple question. It kind of squashes the entire argument for trans in sport. Why is it you only see natally, biologically born men? Listen carefully. Men who identify as female compete against biologically born women, females, and annihilate them. Leah Thomas, former name William. But you never see the opposite. You never see biologically, natally born girls say, oh, I identify as a guy, I'm going to go and compete against biological men. No, because they'd get annihilated. So, my point is this: if it was fair and honest and real and what I call 3D world, right? If it was really, really real, it'd be going both sides of the fence. I mean, I'm sorry if it sounds like a cliche. You'd be having physical, at birth, females going, actually, I can rock it with the men, and going for it. So, yeah, it's the whole thing makes me go, ooh. And like I say, I've gotten off topic a little bit, but it's kind of not, because it is the metaverse where you can be anything you want to be. So, as an assignment, I'm going to ask those of who, if anyone does watch this, for what it's worth, please watch the San Junipero episode of Black Mirror. It's a few years old, but it'll hit this home. Even the two main, the protagonist is anyway. It's a lovely love story actually, but it's just anyway. San Junipero, we're so close. We're so close in terms of transcendence and uploading our personalities. Who we are. We're so frighteningly close where where fiction becomes, where, as they say, truth is stranger than fiction, and it often is. Life imitating art, but this is art imitating life. That'll do tonight. That'll do. I'm just going to try and stick to this Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. Look, for what it's worth, if anyone watches this, I'm sorry that I've not been around too much. I'm just, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for me. Sort of 8 o'clock onwards. I've got to do it. I've got to do it. I just need to ask for more help. I need some help. All right. Tired. Longing out. Gonna go. Love you and leave you. Be back on Wednesday. Do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 8 o'clock onwards. Yeah. So this is Justin House saying goodbye. Episode 472. Would you believe? Just trying to. I have made some notes really. The metaverse, just dodgy as you like. Just beware, be conscious, be unafraid to speak out. If it feels wrong and looks wrong and smells wrong, and it probably is wrong. Do you know what I mean? Don't be too willing to just acquiesce to compliance and conformity. Because the vaccines are this. You're in lockstep agreement. Just come on, guys. Be more. Just be stoical about this shit. All right, guys. I'm gonna bugger off. Be back on Wednesday, same time, same face, same place. All right. See you soon. Cheers.